Thank you for coming and welcome. It is really nice to see some familiar names in the attendance list, as well as some new folks. So if this is your first time joining us for a webinar, I want to say welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, participant, I want to say welcome. It is so exciting to be presenting this workshop live from Inbound 22 in Boston. We love this conference. We are a proud HubSpot partner agency bringing world-class technologies to our nonprofit clients. And we're here in Boston and just soaking up all the learning, and we're going to bring it right back to you. So you can see behind me, hopefully you can see behind me, that is the lawn on D, as they call it, where you can see the big inbound letters and people having a good time connecting and learning. We had a great community gathering with nonprofits who are doing inbound marketing yesterday, and that was terrific. So on to the business at hand. We are going to talk today about your goals. We're going to walk you through a process that we use for nonprofits to help you channel your organizational goals into productive marketing. So welcome to the Nonprofit Marketing Goals Crosswalk. Let's dive in. What is the Marketing Goals Crosswalk? We have a nice visual here that wraps it all up and tells the story pretty succinctly. So you've got your organizational objectives. These are things like, at the rock bottom foundation, the mission of your organization. We help low-income people pay their veterinary bills. We support medical research to find a cure for a rare disease. We provide support to people in a professional community as a professional association. There's your rock bottom foundational objective. But above that, you've got some operational day-to-day, objectives to meet. We need to raise a certain amount of revenue with our conference. We need to raise a certain amount of revenue through donations. We need to get a certain number of grant applications and grant a certain amount of funds every year. So we have those goals for the organization. On that vertical axis, we have marketing goals. Let's talk about how the two can come together. So why is this important? Well, you're here, so clearly you think it's important. But when we build a rationale for joining these two often disparate numbers, that helps us get buy-in across the organization. So why are we doing this work? We are doing it to align our mission with our budget and our goals. So they're not separate things. We're doing it to align stakeholders across the organization, so that the people at your nonprofit that are in charge of programming or involved in programming or involved in operations, finance, administration, really have the same goals and objectives as your marketing team. And guess what? Your marketing is going to get more support. So in addition to those reasons for using a crosswalk process, we are building a scalable and sustainable plan for our marketing, and we'll call it sales, those revenue goals that you need to meet. And then ultimately bringing the revenue side in alignment with the marketing side. So your budget goals are going to be aligned with your marketing efforts. So that's why we're doing it. Let's talk about how and what. So this is the process that we use with our clients. What we found is that organizations looking for marketing help will be ready to dive into marketing activity, and that's great. They'll even be ready to dive into marketing strategy, also great. But oftentimes there's a gap between that activity and what the organization really wants. And in fact, the goals that the marketing team is ultimately being held to. Hey, we didn't get enough conference participation last year. We didn't make our numbers for our conference registrants. We didn't make our numbers for membership. It must be the marketing team's fault. Well, guess what? The marketing team, spoiler alert, marketing goals are not those goals. We need to have marketing goals that contribute to those goals so that we can all be playing by the same playbook, but following different, really pursuing goals that are appropriate for the activities that we're doing. So in order to get there today, we're going to start by understanding what your organization's objectives are for the coming year. We're going to look at some what if scenarios. How does achieving or not achieving those goals affect the organization in those profound ways? We're going to analyze your current marketing activities and what you spend on them. We're going to determine the results of those marketing activities, calculate some SMART goals for your marketing, set those goals, those marketing goals, and then understand what resources we're going to need to invest in order to achieve those goals. So the way that we approach this process is we're doing these things with organizations over a period of a month or two to get these questions answered. You're not going to have the answers to all these questions in the next hour. So the way that this workshop is going to work is I'm going to introduce the process for doing what I've laid out here, for arriving at those goals. I'm going to introduce and help you understand the process and really get you started with each step of it. And I'm going to do a mix of presenting information and sharing processes, and then also giving you some time right here, right now, to answer these questions. You are not going to have the answers to all these questions, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get started and even brainstorm when you don't have the answers. Well, what's it going to take for me to get this information, and jot down those ideas so that you'll walk out of this workshop having what you need to move forward and complete your marketing SMART goals in a way that's going to do all those things we just talked about. If you have questions as we're going along, please feel free to use the Q&A feature in the webinar to pass those questions along. We'll have time at the end and we will answer questions. I'll also be giving you my email address at the end of this webinar, so you can feel free to shoot me questions that way or set up a free consultation. As an agency that provides inbound and digital marketing to nonprofits, we have a whole range of ways that we can help you complete this process and then carry out your marketing. Everything from task templates that you can use and give to your team to carry out the marketing, all the way through to full service content creation and marketing that we do for your team. So we would be happy to help you. All right, let's dive in. So starting with understanding the organization's objectives. What we have here is a tool for you to record a single objective that's driving your organization, that you know your organization consciously wants and needs to make progress toward, better yet, achieve. So here we see on the left, if I know a specific example of an organizational objective, I'm going to jot it down in that blue box on the left, blue-green box on the left. For example, I know that my organization needs to generate $500,000 in training revenue in the year because, hey, I've got my organizational budget right here, and on the revenue side, it's got that line item. Or I know we need 50 attendees at our first workshop of the year. I know we need 50 donations of $100 each per month over the next year. Whatever number your organization has on its budget for that objective goes in that blue box, and it's just one. Just pick one for the sake of getting started with this exercise, and you can repeat this. You can copy this slide and use it for every objective that the organization is pursuing. So we're not talking about the organization's mission, which is we'll take that veterinary assistance example. We're not writing down the organization's mission, which is to support low-income people in maintaining a relationship with a healthy pet. No, that's the mission. That's great. We are all pursuing that. We're unified around that mission. We're looking one layer up from that. Okay. We know we need 50 donations per month of $100 a piece for the next year. That's what our budget is based on. So that goal is going to go there. Let's say I don't have that information right now. Then I'm going to write that in the yellow box, and I'm going to articulate it as a soft goal. I don't really know, because I'm on the marketing team. They don't share the budget with me. I don't know exactly what our membership goal is for the year, but they keep telling me I need to raise membership. They keep telling me marketing needs to, get more members. So I'm just going to write in there, increase membership. And then I'm going to write a note to myself. Who do I talk to get that number, to get a quantifiable, concrete, hard number for membership goal for this year? Who do I need to talk to? Who can get me that information? I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to put myself on mute for a few minutes and let you think this through and complete this slide, and I'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I hope you had some great ideas. I know you had some great ideas and you jotted them down. So let's move on to the next step. Now we have a sense of what the organization's objective is that we're going to be thinking about today and using today for our, I'll call it an exercise, although you're going to take this and run with it after the workshop. So we've articulated one specific objective that our organization is pursuing that's above the layer of rock bottom mission and up to the layer of, hey, we need to raise $5,000 in donations per month this year. That's what's in our budget. That's on the slide. If we don't have that quantified, we've got it written down as a soft goal. Well, we need to increase membership. I'm going to find out what that number, I'm going to get that specific number for membership revenue as a next step after the workshop. All right. Next step, what if? Let's talk about what if scenarios. How does achieving or not achieving the goal that we just talked about in the last slide affect the organization? And let's get real here. Let's get really honest. What if we do achieve our goals? What are the dreams, the hopes and dreams that the people around me that I eat lunch with every day or that I Zoom with every day, what do we hope to be able to do? What are we talking about? Do we need to be able to hire that content creator? Do we need to be able to hire more administrative help? Do we need to serve more people in our community? Is that what we talk about as what we do if we met that financial goal? Another way to look at it is, hey, look at the budget. Here's the in, here's the out. On the revenue side, we're responsible for getting that, hitting that membership or that donations goal every month. And on the other side, we are spending X amount to serve X number of participants, to provide our services and carry out our mission. So what are we doing this year that might be new, that is directly affected, that we can do that's a positive thing if we meet our goal? On the other side, what if we don't achieve our goals? Okay. It's equally important to be real here, to be honest here. What's happened in the past when we haven't met our numbers? What are some of the consequences? On the left, we have implications. On the right, we have consequences. Do we need, are we going to need to be looking at staff reduction? Are we looking at cutting back our programs if we don't meet our goals? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about these ideas and write down some of them. Again, you're not expected to have all of the answers, but definitely take a few minutes to think deeply about what people have been talking about at your organization when it comes to implications and consequences of meeting or not meeting your goals. And we're talking specifically about the objective that we identified in the previous slide. We're going to be using that as our example today. All right, so I'll give you a few minutes to think about that and do some writing, and I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Okay, let's continue. So I'm sure you had some great ideas. Please come back to this later. It's not a long process, this crosswalk. It has 7 steps, and we keep it brief, we keep it short and simple for the very reason that, hey, you print this deck out, you can have it on your desk. It's not intimidating. It can be done. It's a great place to start. So if you weren't able to think about the answers, if you weren't able to generate the answers to these questions right here today, think of a colleague that maybe you could brainstorm with, bounce some ideas off of, to unearth the answers to these questions, and jot that person's name down right now. All right, let's move on to the next step in our crosswalk. The next step in our crosswalk is to analyze the current activities that we're engaged in when it comes to marketing for our nonprofit. Depending on your role at the organization, this may be an easy thing for you to do. And in fact, even if you're not in marketing, if you're in operations, if you're on the program side, typically there's an awareness of these things. So you should be able to generate a list, make a list of the marketing activities that you're doing right now, and really think about this in terms of that objective that you identified in slide number 1. So my example was donations. We need 50 donations per month at $100 a piece, according to our budget. These are the marketing activities that our marketing team is being told are supposed to contribute to that goal. Okay, so which marketing activities are we doing that we're expecting to have a direct impact on our membership goal? Is it email marketing? Is email marketing one of the things that you're expecting to support membership, membership revenue? Content. Is your organization blogging, creating videos? Are you creating content in the form of web pages, ebooks, really, any of those forms of content? Are you doing that? And is it expected to contribute to membership? Social media. Are you posting? Do you look at social media metrics as a gauge of whether membership is going to do well? When you see that membership number, do you look back and say, yeah, maybe we didn't do enough social media posts, or hey, we had a great quarter when it came to donations. It must be because we had some really terrific social media posts and social media engagement. Advertising. Are we taking out paid ads, whether it be pay-per-click, social media advertising, YouTube advertising? Are we investing in advertising and expecting that to contribute to our bottom line when it comes to membership? Website updates and development. Do we just do a big brand new website in the hopes that it would help us increase our or meet our membership goal for the year? I want you to check off the activities that your organization is engaged in, and then add on as needed any other marketing activities that you see the organization engaged in that you're expecting to support that membership goal. I'll give you a minute or two to think on that and fill out this slide. All right. Good job, everybody. I hope you had a lot to write down. Again, if you're not hands-on in the marketing business, if you're in a different area of your organization, write down who's going to have those answers, and make sure to follow up with them to complete this slide after. Now we're going to look at what we're spending on those activities. Okay, so here's a list of some common examples of ways that organizations spend, their marketing dollars. What we want to do here is understand what the organization is putting in to marketing, because as we go through the process and we identify some concrete goals for marketing that are driven by concrete organizational objectives, we're going to need to make the case for either offsetting costs by maybe setting aside past expenses that are associated with things that aren't really working, or adding budget to support these marketing activities that we are now able to document are needed in order to reach those organizational objectives. So it's important to start from a place of knowing, hey, what are we spending right now and what are we spending it on? The first line, is it vendors, contractors? Do we have a marketing firm? What are we paying them? Do we have a freelance writer that's writing our blogs, our ebooks, marketing copy? What are we paying them? Social media advertising, that's pretty straightforward. What are we spending? What are we paying Google? What are we paying Facebook? Social media platforms to get our advertising out there, to get our message out there. I was just in a session here at Inbound 2022 that touched on influencer marketing. which is not free? Are we paying any influencers in any form? Whatever, whether it's, product exchanges or in kind or cash, what are we paying people? Not so common in the nonprofit sector, but I think it is something to be aware of, and to put that all of those expenses right here in our budget. Web hosting, what are we paying for web hosting on our hosting platform? Our CRM, fundraising and membership platform is a couple of lines down. At a lot of organizations, those are combined. If you're using something, like Razor's Edge or your membership, or software, that you're using to gather donor intelligence, and also be your source of truth for the organization. What is that costing? Your email marketing platform, what are you using to send email? What are you paying for that? Marketing automation. For many organizations, this line, unfortunately, is going to be blank. We find that organizations are able to use a marketing automation platform and do away with some of these other kind of Frankensteining together different pieces of software and do it all in one place. So if you're using HubSpot, if you're using any marketing automation platform, you want to put that expense here. What are you paying for integrations to bring together all of these good, different kind of disparate pieces of software? Are you paying for, Zaps or any other types of integrations to make software talk to each other? Document that right here. I'm not sure I'm going to spend a lot of time, letting people fill out this slide, because this is kind of like either you know it or you don't. If you don't know it, jot down the name of the person right there in that on that line, who's going to be able to tell you what's being spent on that piece of your marketing budget. Okay. Next step. We've talked about what we're doing. We've talked about our objective, what we're being expected to support as marketers. We've talked about our past activities, what we're spending on those past activities. Now, the moment of truth. What are we getting out of those activities? So some of this data is, what are we getting out of those activities? Some of this data is how are we doing on our organizational objectives? Okay, whether or not that's a reflection of marketing's, the effectiveness of the marketing, we don't really know, but we need to have these numbers. How many donors per month are we getting right now? If we know we need 50, let's look at, often what works is a 12-month average, because we all know, these things are seasonal. We have a membership drive, we have a conference, we have an awareness month. These are kind of months that are going to be an anomaly when you look at the 12-month period. So usually we like to take a 12-month period and divide it by 12 to get this number. That said, we know the past 2 years have been an anomaly in and of themselves. So now we're seeing organizations really kind of, I don't want to say struggle, but question what their benchmarks really even are. So, the most recent 12-month period is a fine place to start, or talk with others at your organization to figure out what really makes sense. What's our basis. When it comes to our current results, as opposed to our goals, current results, it usually makes sense to just use the past 12 months and divide by 12 to get a customers per month or donors per month average, whether it's members, donors, attendees at our events. Traffic per month. This is pretty straightforward. You're going to take the traffic to your website over a 12-month period, divide that by 12, and that's your traffic. You should have that in Google Analytics. If you have a marketing automation platform, you can get the data there. Somebody at your organization should have this information. And again, if you don't have these answers, jot down who you think might have the answers. Leads per month. Okay. Leads per month. What is a lead? In marketing terms, a lead is somebody who's providing you with information about themselves, so that you can have a relationship with them and share information. So they have filled out a form on your website. They have given you their information in some way. They've come to an event and put their email address on a list. That's a lead. So how many new leads, how many new contacts is your organization getting on a monthly basis? This usually makes sense to do 12 months divided by 12. And then finally, you've got some conversion rates that you're going to calculate. We've got formulas for doing this. You can find formulas for doing them on the web. You want to calculate how many visitors, what the relationship is between the number of visitors to your website and the number of leads that you're getting per month. And then the relationship between how many leads you're getting per month to how many donors you're getting per month. So I'm going to move on from this one because the very next thought you have when you think about what are our current results is what should we be shooting for? Okay, what are our goals for the organization when it comes to marketing? This is kind of like everything that I've said so far leads up to this. Let's start talking about how to set reasonable and realistic and rational marketing goals for your organization. We have to start by talking about what a marketing goal consists of. So we talk about this in terms of targeting. What is a marketing goal target? Is it, we need 50 donors per month? No, that's a development goal or a fundraising goal or a sales goal, whatever you want to call it. So, for a lot of people, this is really fundamental. If you're here at this workshop, it's probably pretty basic, pretty obvious to you. But I talk about it here because this is a message that you're going to need to share at your organization and educate people on. So you can take this deck and you can go through this process with your team. Bring in somebody from operations, bring in somebody from development, somebody from marketing, and work through this together so that everybody really understands, oh, a marketing goal is something like get more email addresses, get more contacts, whether it's email address or social media contacts, followers, increase contacts in our CRM, the number of people on our mailing list. Okay, that's a pretty popular one. And most people at your organization will understand that it's a marketing goal. Increase blog subscribers, that's a marketing goal target. We're not talking about specific goals here. We're talking about appropriate targets that actually are marketing goal targets. Increasing blog subscribers, reaching more visitors with organic search traffic. So, organic visits to the website, the conversion rate for mobile visitors coming from mobile. Okay, are we seeing that? Maybe we lose people when they're visiting our website on a mobile device. They're not signing up. They're not becoming leads. They're not giving us their contact information. Do we need to increase the visitor to lead conversion rate? So the number, when we look at the number of visitors overall to our site, are we unhappy with the number of people that are then taking the next step and giving us their contact information, engaging with the organization? Do we need to boost our open rate for our emails that are going out, or response rate if we're using SMS marketing, that engagement rate, social media engagement? Do we need to increase that? Is that low? Has it decreased? Increasing leads from advertising. So we're investing money in advertising, but we're feeling like, hey, we don't get enough leads that way. These are examples of targets for marketing goals. Then we can step into calculating specific goals around those targets. And now this chart looks a little bit, maybe a little bit intimidating, but it's really here to show you there is math that's available here from this slide, or whether you look online, to calculate those conversion rates. Okay, so you have data about current results. Your next step is to calculate conversion rates that you currently are achieving for the organization, so that you can look at them and say, okay, we need to increase those. It's not necessarily all about getting more traffic. Sometimes it's about engaging people that you currently are having contact with, but you're losing them. So this is a screenshot of a tool that we've developed to take all that data and use it to calculate some specific marketing goals. And I'll walk you through this tool to some extent, but it's the bottom line is this sheet is part of our tools. We include it in our workshop materials. You can use it. Working with us with the organizations that we work with, this is something that we use at the beginning of the marketing planning process to set goals, and then we report on them every single month. So we choose one, maybe two marketing goals that directly align with what the organization needs to achieve on a organizational basis. And we pursue that goal and we report on it month over month. And it becomes, many times it's a long-term goal. We know we're not going to get there in terms of organic traffic for 6 months, because that's something that's going to take time. But we also have a quick win where we're gathering more contacts on the website, and that happens right away. So we can see the progress toward those goals every single month when we report. So the way this tool works is everything, there are 6 fields that are in white, a white background. Those are the fields that you can have input, that have inputs. So you enter your data there and you start over here. This is our goal. We want every year 6,163 donors. Okay. And sorry, that's our current. So up on the top, we have current. Right now, we're getting 6,163 donors every year. We need to get that up to 7,000. So we're going to enter our goal here. The sheet's going to calculate. Oh, then we're also going to put in how much traffic we're currently getting on the website every month. We're going to enter how many leads, how many contacts we're getting every month, new contacts into our CRM, our donor management software. And then the sheet's going to calculate these other numbers. So now we know, based on current traffic, current leads, we know what our conversion rate is from visitor to lead. We know what our conversion rate is from leads to customers. And then everything else over here in green is going to automatically get calculated. We have 2 columns to choose from in calculating a goal for our marketing team. The first one is going to automatically be generated based on, hey, we're currently getting 2,000 visits a month. We're getting 10 leads a month. We know this is the kind of growth over in column A that we need to see. Based on that, we need to up our traffic to 2,295 and get 1 more lead per month. Now, we may know that, most of our donations aren't coming from current leads, so this may not look logical. Okay, if these numbers don't look logical, don't look right, based on your additional knowledge of the organization, you can go over here and experiment. Okay, you can look at conversion rates. Okay, so maybe instead of really targeting as a marketing goal, an increase in traffic, maybe we need to look at an increase in conversion rates, for example. We need to, increase the number of people visiting our website who become a contact from its current, low number to a much higher number by adding more conversion opportunities. That's just an example. So this is a tool that we use to make those calculations of SMART goals. The important thing, I think the important takeaway is have a SMART goal, have a goal for your marketing that meets those SMART criteria, okay? And that has a direct connection to an organizational objective that your organization is going to get behind, is already behind. Okay, something that the board, for example, the board cares about convention, attendance at your annual convention more than anything else. Well, that might be an organizational objective to use on step number one, and then follow the steps based on that organizational goal and get to the point where you can say, hey, board, we know we need, 5,000 attendance at our convention. That's 10% more than last year. These are our current marketing results. To get 10% improvement increase in attendance, we need 10% increase in marketing investment, in marketing activity. And here's the marketing goal that we're going to meet, that we're going to pursue, marketing team. So you now have a set of slides, a set of numbers that you can take to different personas within your organization, whether it's your marketing team, your board, your operations team. Different actions, they're going to take different actions based on those goals. The marketing team's going to go out and pursue that marketing goal with marketing activity. They're going to do the right social posts. They're going to generate the right content. They're going to do the right advertising. Everybody else is going to play a different role. They're going to look at the marketing data and say, oh, they met their marketing goal. Great. And then that's a really good sign that we're on track with our organizational objective. And by the way, as a board, as an executive team, we gave them the budget to do that, so that we have realistic expectations for the marketing team. So where we are now is, look, here we have some examples of those specific marketing goals. We've got language, sample language that shows you, here's what a smart goal looks like. Okay, we've taken the raw ingredients that we just generated, and we're into a succinct marketing goal that we can put at the beginning of our reporting deck every single month. We're going to generate, 2,295 sessions per month. And that's a 5% increase over our current traffic, and that's our goal. And so our activities are going to directly support that goal. So what resources are we going to need to be able to get there? Well, I kind of hinted at this when I was talking about the conversation that you're going to have as a marketing person, with your executive team. Hey, we know we need a 10% increase in convention attendance. Here's the marketing we've been doing. Here's the budget we've had. This is the increase we need in budget. Or here are some things we can swap out, okay? Because we're changing our activities now, we're changing our goals. Well, now we've realized that what we really need to do is say our goal is 10% increase, 50% increase. Let's make it big and bold. 50% increase in contacts coming in to the organization, entering our CRM, new people that we can communicate with that care about our work. 50% increase month over month. That's what we need in order to meet that convention goal. Well, maybe we need an additional investment, but maybe the activities that we're doing don't directly support getting leads into our CRM. Maybe we've been focusing on the wrong things. And so we can take some of that investment and plug it in so that we have a marketing automation platform to use, to generate leads, to get the right content in front of the right people, contextual marketing that will really convince them, hey, we should have a relationship here. You should contact us. You should engage with us, come to our events, download our content. So we need different solutions, different technology, for example, different support, different types of consultants that can help us with this. So we want to look at what we're spending now and maybe redeploy some of those expenses. And this is why we're going to document here, hey, this is what we need to meet that goal. So we have some time for questions, which is great. This is my email address. I really want to hear from you after the workshop. Any questions that you might have, I'm happy to talk with you via email or set up a call. you can have a nonprofit marketing plan consultation by going to this URL, www.yodelpop.com/consultation, and we can talk about your marketing plan. We can look at the slides and how you've filled out the deck to date, and talk about some, examples from the organizations that we've worked with, brainstorm ideas. I'd love to hear more about your marketing plan, about your goals, and share ideas about how to get you to reach them. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. I'll leave my email address up on the screen while we talk about questions.
Great. Awesome, Jackie. Thank you. Yeah, we have a couple of questions here. Let me bring those up. All right. First question is, what if we can't get all of this information? And what if we can't do it perfectly? How are we going to be able to, move on to the next step? Basically what
I think it's pretty I think it's pretty rare to not have all this information at your fingertips. I mean, you'd have to be kind of omniscient to be able to understand all of these different perspectives. But yeah, so what do you do if you don't have that information? You absolutely can move on to the next step without having that information. The key is to either find the people that have the information within your organization, do a little bit of pushing to guide the organization to come up with answers to these questions, or if all else fails, get started and start gathering benchmark data. So right now you don't have, I'm gonna back up a little bit if I can here. Let's see. I'll pick a slide that is pretty common that people might not have the information, the answers to. Okay, let's say we have a website, we don't have Google Analytics installed, or some old employee is the only one that has the access to the Google Analytics account, so we don't know how much traffic we're getting. Start benchmarking. Install HubSpot, install something else, tracking code to track your traffic while you get that situation resolved. Okay, you do need access to your Google Analytics account, but install install HubSpot, get started gathering that data, and build it as you go. Basically benchmark. You can say, oh, okay, well now we have 1 month's worth of data on our traffic. We have 1 month's worth of data on how many leads we're getting. And then just build up so that next year at this time, you're going to have a solid basis of 12 months data. That I think the most important thing about that is communicating to the team that that's going on, that we're not just taking a stab in the dark. We're actually building up benchmarking data. And you know what? The most important part of our marketing activity right now, we're going to keep doing social media, doing blog posts, doing videos. But probably the most important part of our marketing activity right now is gathering this data. So somebody needs to be, charged with gathering it, sharing it, and making sure that we're building up that base of data to compare with later. Hopefully that answers your question. It's a really good one because it's one that I think many organizations are in that position.
Some
other questions?
Here's another good one. How do we get the rest of our team involved to get this work done if they haven't attended this webinar?
Yeah, that is a good one. I think it's about, I'm going to bring us to this slide here. So I think this is a really good place to start. Once whoever you are doing this process as the one who's starting it, I think the answer to this question: what is the most pressing organizational objective? So you can decide. Whether the thing that people are talking most about is membership or receiving grant applications. So what you want to do is bring the people that are invested in that outcome together to have this conversation. You know, hey, I'm gathering a group of people to better understand why we need to achieve this goal so that we can meet it, really. So talking about getting the right people in the room to talk about why do we have this goal, what's really going to happen is a nice starting place. And then, you know, you share this deck with them. You say, hey, I'm doing this process. It's a tried and true process for nonprofits doing marketing, so that we can help support you. We can help support the organization effectively. Getting that group together from the answers to these questions to then go on and talk about some of the other ones that you think are going to hit them on a level, an emotional level. Okay, we're marketers. We know marketing is about emotion. Find the pieces, maybe starting with this one and this one. Understand who you're talking to and find the pieces that they're going to emotionally respond to. Show them this deck and get them talking, and then grow the process. Fill out the rest of the deck from there. Because different pieces in this process, in this deck, are designed to really be appealing to different roles within your organization, and that's for a reason, right? That's because we want to align stakeholders through common objectives and goals. So we need to give them, each one of them, a hook, you know, into the marketing plan.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap up here, but let's get one more question in. Hopefully
Thanks,
this one
Camille.
isn't too loaded, Jackie. But what if we don't have the resources to do what we need to do to meet our
That's a
objectives?
great one. Yeah, that's a great one. So we're looking at, you know, hey, we know what we need. Here we go. We know what resources we need, how much money we need. Let's be frank here. um, so if we don't have it, I think one thing that I mentioned before that I'm going to reiterate is redeploying expenses that are not being effectively spent. So if we're going back and we're looking, we're seeing we invested, you know, $800 a month in social media advertising last month, because that's what we've always done for the convention. We've always done that. And we don't have any indication that there was a concrete result from that. Then we know we need to do something differently. Okay, so let's try let's try redeploying that expense somewhere else, or better yet, let's invest in let's take, you know, some expense that that doesn't have a proven concrete result attached to it, and use that for something like marketing automation software that's going to help us see the results of that advertising investment. Can we redeploy? So step number one, if possible, redeploy. And step number two, I think, is take some baby steps. If you can't find the entire budget, can you identify one priority? And can you go to your budget decision makers at your organization, or maybe you are the decision maker at your organization? Can you make the case for investing in that one thing because it's going to have a broader impact? Okay, can we start investing in a better email platform, because right now we're sending out emails and you know, we're not getting results. We're not able to personalize them. We're just kind of blanketing people, and our emails aren't getting opened. Can we make the case for trying a different solution for a quarter, for a year, and testing it out? There are low cost solutions. If your gap is in, you know, paying for staffing or paying for consulting, there are low cost solutions starting at $800 where you can get templates, task templates, to do marketing activity that's going to be effective, that's going to get you results. So I guess, you know, the next tip is it may not cost as much as you think it's going to cost. I would be happy to walk through this slide with anybody and talk about, you know, how can you most effectively budget for these items. It may cost less than you think because you may not need to hire, for example, you know, a marketing person. You may be able to get the templates and start doing the work internally with the right guidance. Hopefully that's helpful. Camille, thank you so much. Camille, my business partner at Yodelpop, was with us today as panelist and question and traffic director. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today in the Marketing Goals Crosswalk. And again, let you know I'm at Jackie@yodelpop.com. Reach out, say hello, let me know what you thought of the workshop, and have a great day.